And we have another great matchup. Like I said, this week has a lot of good matchups. We have the Seahawks versus the Falcons in Atlanta, with Atlanta being a favorite by 3 points and the over-under 51. Now, both these teams I had on my Fool's Goal list that I thought that both these teams look good, but if you go deeper, they are fake. They're not that great. And that definitely, that's definitely the case for the Seahawks. And I think so for Atlanta Falcons too. I'm not going to let them get away. I don't think the NFC South is, the whole NFC South has problems. But the Seahawks, they are definitely fool's gold. They starting hot at 3-0, and they just fall straight to the ground at 3 straight losses. Because the opponents they played were mediocre. They were average. I mean, they're worse than average. They're just terrible teams. And the Seahawks were beating them. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Patriots. They had to go into overtime against the Patriots. And they beat the Dolphins when Dolphins didn't have Tua. And they beat the Patriots by only 3 points and the Broncos by 6 points. That was Bo Nix's first game. So I knew the Seahawks were fool's gold right away. Everybody thought this defense, these ball hogs, they haven't played nobody. You played 3 teams who can't pass the ball. So then they play good teams. Detroit Lions put 40 on them, blow them out. They lose to the Giants 29-20, which they were favorites in. And they lose the 49ers by 12 points, a rival in their division. So as soon as they play against good competition, the Seattle Seahawks go down the drain. So let's get to it. They're 1-4-1 against the spread so far this year. Not good. And the over-under is 5 to the over and 1 to the under for them. The Seahawks, they have a good chance to win this game because of one reason and one reason only. The biggest Achilles heel for the Falcons. They can't rush the quarterback. They can't sack the quarterback. So if they give Geno enough time, he can light you up with those weapons. Metcalf, Lockett, and Smith, and Fant at tight end. But they also have good running backs in Walker and Charbonnet. So if the Falcons do not get after him, Geno can light you up. Geno pin up some good numbers. So, and he has good weapons. So keep in mind, I mean, if I'm the Falcons, I'm trading somebody too. You have a chance to win the NFC South, and you have a chance to possibly make a run the playoffs. Possibly, I would go get an edge rusher to get to the quarterback because they cannot. They averaged 270. The Seahawks averaged 276 yards passing, pretty great. And that it's great because Tampa put 30 points on Atlanta, so you can pass on Atlanta sometimes. They do have actually a decent secondary, but Tampa exposed them a little bit. So I think whoever is playing I think Lockett or Smith, who's playing the slot wide receiver, can have a big day against the Falcons. And the Seattle Seahawks had some extra time to prepare. They had a little mini bye because they had the 49ers game was on a Thursday. So they get a little break to get to before they play Atlanta. Let's get to Atlanta here. They're 3-3 against the spread, and they're 3-3 to the over and under. They have a great 1-2 punch in their running backs as well, in Robinson and Algier. So they have one of the best 1-2 punches. And that's really great because the Seahawks are ranked 27th in rush defense. So if they get the ball rolling, and you have Robinson had a great game last week, 2 touchdowns rushing, and Algier had over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. They can use those 2 guys again, and against the Seahawks' terrible rush defense, won't be looking too good for the Seahawks. This is going to be a good matchup. I can see these teams going back and forth. It's the Atlanta Falcons are just getting the number because they are the home favorite. Half of me wants to take the Seahawks plus the 3 points, but I just can't get away the Seattle just dropping like a stone when they're playing against good teams. They're 0-3 playing against good teams, and they haven't covered a spread when they've played an away game, and they're terrible covering the run. And the Falcons that's all they want to do. And they have great interior linemen, the Falcons. So I think that the running backs, have a good day against the Seattle Seahawks. And Atlanta does enough to cover this number. I can see this being a 27-21 game. So give me Atlanta and eating the points, 3 points, but I think they do enough to cover that easily.